I immediately wanted to go because I love dog, and I also have a golden retriever, and I ran over to the
And welcome inside the Robert G. Collins Arena, Lincroft, New Jersey, for another edition of Brookdale Basketball here on BTV. Tim Kettlefamo alongside Brian Goudsworth. A doubleheader for you this afternoon here in the Collins Arena as the Jersey Blues get ready to take on the CC of Philadelphia Colonials. Both of these two teams much improved over the last couple of years, Brian, and in particular, this women's game should be a very hotly contested match.
Yeah, it's the two teams with the two best records in the Region 19 when you look at it. We've talked about Brookdale and the games we've done, just how strong they have been, undefeated to start the year. But today they get a big test because a lot of the games they played this season, they've been against some of the bottom of the barrel competition. Philadelphia, though, the second best team, and that should make for a good matchup.
And of course, Brookdale, as you mentioned, Brian, undefeated this year. Philadelphia 7-2, and they've had some close losses this year for Philadelphia. As you look at the starting lineup now for the Jersey Blues, Danielle Griffith taking the place of Veronica Njai, Cam-Marie Brown, and Jessica Poplawski. A couple of the big names that will be on the floor this afternoon for the Jersey Blues. And then, of course, for Philadelphia, while they are a strong team, Brian, some late developing stories with them as you take a look at their starting five. That is the only five players that they will have on the floor this afternoon, due to some injuries and a couple of other things that have presented some inactives for them. So the Colonials will have to go with those five players. However, those are probably the five most talented players on the team. So still, nonetheless, a very tough challenge for Brookdale this afternoon.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes it tough for Philadelphia that they're playing a road game against the number one team in the region in Brookdale, and they're not at full strength. So as you mentioned, the five players that start the game are forced to play the entire game, and head coach Kenyatta McKinney of his Colonials doesn't have anyone on the bench to go to. You a lot of times can get tired in those kind of circumstances. We'll see how the Colonials hold up with only five players active.
Our officials this afternoon, Ron DePasquale, Harvey Duck, and Bobby Mui Piro. Opening tip is controlled by Brookdale, and we are underway here in the Collins Arena for the first of two matchups this afternoon. Brookdale wants to get off to a strong start. That was something that head coach Brunson had told me pre-game, as DeLonzo from the corner does just that and knocks down the early three.
And DeLonzo not wasting any time. Ball in her hands. She was open and hits the first bucket of the day.
So now we'll see what CC of Philadelphia can do, as Brookdale looks like they're in a 2-3 zone defense to open up this first quarter. Kiara Beckham tried to swing it over to her teammate McKinney, and now going the other way, here is Griffith, who lays it in at the other end, and it's an early 5-0 lead for the Jersey Blues.
And a good opportunity for Griffith as Rich Brunson made a change to his starting lineup. Oftentimes it has been Veronica Njai, but today Griffith gets the start.
Full court press doing some damage early on here for Brookdale on defense, as Philadelphia has struggled to get the ball across midcourt. Rouse tees up for a three, and that one is rebounded now coming the other way by McKinney. Up ahead and laying it up, but missing the layup was Ariana Harmon. And now Brookdale able to track down the rebound, and now here they come the other way underneath to Griffith, and she's fouled. So a hot start for the Jersey Blues, leading 5-0 with 1 minute and 15 seconds gone by here in the first quarter. And it will have Danielle Griffith at the foul line, the 5'11 sophomore from Howell, New Jersey. Has struggled from the free throw line this season, only shooting 40%, but she hits the first.
Yeah, and on that possession, DeLonzo passing up a three-point shot at a spot where she had just made one before, but found Griffith underneath, and she makes good at the line.
So a 7-0 lead, 8:40 and counting now here left in the first half for Brookdale. Double teamed as Cassandra Colon is bumped in the backcourt, by Cam-Marie Brown. That'll be the first foul on Cam-Marie and the first on the Jersey Blues. Head coach Kenyatta McKinney in his second season. You see him there jumping off the bench, trying to direct traffic. This is Jakira Stamps, not able to get that long two, but a nice rebound, put back up and in by Cassandra Colon, and Philadelphia is on the board by 2 points.
And one thing that Philadelphia does extremely well is rebound the basketball. Now, with that said, they're without their best rebounder. Still, though, that is a big skill for this team.
Yeah, their best rebounder, Andrea Bowleg, is inactive this afternoon. She was the 6'2 sophomore from the Bahamas, but she is not able to play this afternoon, so Philadelphia is going to have to go without her. Down by 5, Camry Brown takes it away, and it'll be an easy 2 points for Camry Brown at the other end.
And Brown, who just has terrific instincts on the defensive end, getting in the passing lane and getting steals. She averages about 4 steals a game and turns it into easy points that time.
Still, this full court pressure is really giving Philadelphia some issues as the ball is tipped out of bounds. It'll remain here with the Colonials. Head coach Rich Brunson in his 3rd season for the Brookdale Jersey Blues. This is the best start that the team has ever gotten off to under his tenure. 11-0. They are nationally ranked. They are no longer in the top 10. They actually dropped out of the top 10, if you can believe that or not, Brian, in the NJCAA standings, but they still are a very tough team. They were 6th, as inside here's Cologne with a tough shot, and she makes it go. Now 9-4, Jersey Blues lead. Here's Veronica Enjai for the first time on the floor this afternoon. Brown lines up for a 3, and it's good. So Brookdale again off to a hot start. Beckham now going coast to coast. The floater a little too strong. She tried to tip it to herself, but Poplowski there for Brookdale is there for the rebound. Haley Delonzo along the low block. Now back out to Poplowski along 2. Delonzo got the rebound, but taken away from behind, but on the baseline was Stamps.
Yeah, Stamps nearly gave her team a possession, but as she swiped it away, she dribbled it in the blue out of bounds, so Brookdale gets a fresh shot clock.
So the Enjai inbounding the basketball. Haley Delonzo, Jessica Poplowski, Camry Brown, and Rachel Rouse on the floor for the Jersey Blues. Enjai, it's a 2 if it goes. It rims out. Rouse there with the rebound. She had it blocked away from behind. Stays here on this side, though. Jersey Blues basketball.
How about Rouse, the smallest player on the floor for Brookdale right now, but she creeps her way down near the basket to get that offensive rebound and give Brookdale another chance.
So once again, another inbounds for Veronica Enjai. Finds Haley Delonzo, quick shot short. And finally, Philadelphia able to secure the rebound. Beckham almost had it taken away. Makes a nice move. Goes inside. Nice dish off to McKinney, and McKinney able to lay it in.
I think Beckham just may have gotten away with an extra step there on that penetration, but not called.
Enjai, a very hustled up 3 is no good. And now here come the Colonials down by 6 as we approach the halfway point of the first quarter. Brookdale in a 2-3 zone. They have remained in that defense for the majority of this first quarter. Stamps a long 3, didn't even hit the rim. Delonzo along the baseline. The floater is good and the foul.
That's just a great decisive move to the basket. Delonzo getting the ball in the corner, aggressively driving baseline, finishes with the floater, and a chance to make it a 3-point play.
So Haley Delonzo, who comes into this matchup, Brian, shooting 64% from the floor. That is not from the foul line or from behind the 3-point line, but from the floor. Pretty impressive number. We'll go to the line now for an attempt to complete the 3-point play. The foul was on Cassandra Colon. That's her first personal on Philadelphia. And she does complete the 3-point play. So now a 15-6 lead for the Jersey Blues. Almost taken away there by Rouse at the midcourt line. It'll stay Philadelphia ball.
Yeah, and you mentioned it a couple minutes ago, but Rich Brunson has put this full court press on just about every possession, and it has given the Colonials trouble. They have not had clean passes getting into the front court.
Ariana Harmon now. Over to Cologne. Shot clock winding down here for Philadelphia. It's down to 8. Beckham hoists up a 3. It's good. Kiara Beckham did not play in the 2 losses that Philadelphia had earlier this season, and you can see why. She's a huge presence on the floor for the Colonials as a turnover there by the Jersey Blues gives the ball back to Philadelphia.
Yeah, and that shot, she had the much taller defender, Catanzaro, on her, about 6 inches difference in height, but no matter as Beckham was able to drill it from the corner.
So the Colonials possibly sensing some momentum here. Again, full court press by the Jersey Blues. They're able to handle it. No, actually it's taken away here as it was a bad pass and it's scooped up in the backcourt by Catanzaro, but Jersey Blues once again turn it over as they can't seem to get on the same page.
Yeah,
so a shaky start for both teams, Brian.
Yeah, that was Holloway that time looking for Griffith, but just not expecting the pass. So a little sloppiness the last couple of possessions. Brookdale, though, still up by 6. Looking good offensively.
This is an undefeated team, as I mentioned a moment ago, in the Jersey Blues. And Philadelphia knew that this was going to be a tough matchup as Cologne from the foul line a little too strong. Catanzaro, I'm not sure if she was trying to give it off to somebody or she lost it, but now at the other end, Stamps lays it in with the right hand.
Yeah, nobody picked up Stamps there in transition as once she got the ball at about midcourt, just saw a clear path to the basket and takes advantage.
Philly within 4. Njai. Now over to Griffith. Down low, Catanzaro. It will go back to Philadelphia. And Coach McKinney giving his team a round of applause, all excited on the sidelines.
Yeah, he has to like the effort. I mean, undermanned as his team is with only 5 players, and as we mentioned, all of them have to play the entire game. And after a slow start, you like the intensity that they're playing with on both ends of the floor.
Beckham able to get away from a triple team. Now kicks it out to Cologne for a 3. She may have got hit, no foul. And the rebound is taken by Alexis Holloway. Brown along 2, short. Delonzo comes leaping in with the rebound and finds Catanzaro for an easy 2.
Yeah, it's just a great find that time by Delonzo. And that's what makes her an impressive player. She doesn't only score, she's the leading facilitator. That's an errant pass if I've ever seen one.
Turnover there as Cassandra Cologne couldn't quite handle a pass from Beckham. It almost hit Rich Brunson in the head on the sidelines.
That one had some mustard on it.
The former Rutgers Scarlet Knight from 1979 to 1983. He was ready for it, though. Inside Griffith, a little too far underneath the basket. Now Delonzo from the corner. That doesn't go. Brown puts it up. No. Still loose, and finally the Colonials secure it. Down by 6. Cologne. Now back to Stamps. Stamps put it on the floor. Brown scooped it up. And now here comes Griffith away for the basketball with Delonzo now bringing it up. Stop and pop in the lane for Haley Delonzo is good.
Delonzo just has a good sense of where she can get a shot off, whether it's shooting from the corner, that time just pulling up from that elbow area, just knows her range very well.
Stamps a tough shot. Cologne couldn't get the tip up to go, and now Holloway comes away with it for the Jersey Blues. It's Holloway, Brown, Catanzaro, Dion Griffith, and Anna Catanzaro on the floor for the Jersey Blues. As Catanzaro couldn't handle that shot inside, it's a jump ball called, and the possession arrow points Philly's way. So as I mentioned, Holloway, Brown, Griffith, Delonzo, Catanzaro. Make that now Njai coming in for Delonzo on the floor for the Jersey Blues. And of course, it's the same starting 5. Cologne, Beckham, Harmon, Stamps, and McKinney on for Philadelphia. Here's Harmon. Now finds Stamps, and she's able to get the nice jumper. And now it's a 6-point lead for the Jersey Blues. Catanzaro in stride in the paint. No. Griffith the rebound. Back out to Holloway for a 3. Back iron no good. Catanzaro third chance opportunity. Now back out to Brown. Rims out, fourth chance opportunity here for the Jersey Blues. They still can't get the bucket, and it goes out of bounds back to Philadelphia.
Well, after all those opportunities, you'd think at one point or another they'd turn it into points. You still, though, have to love the effort on the offensive glass, especially because they're going against a Philadelphia team that specializes in rebounding the basketball.
Here's Beckham. Now kicks it out to Stamps, and Stamps didn't even hit the rim on that one, a little short. Approaching a minute left here in the first quarter. Brookdale leads 19-13 here on BTV. Inside, Dion Griffith traveled. She made a nice move, but that's why she was able to get so open underneath the basket.
Yeah, I thought that might be the call there. Didn't seem there was enough contact to initiate a foul, so it's a Brookdale turnover.
Philadelphia, with only 5 players suited up to go, a couple of inactives, is hanging around with the top team in the Region 19 Conference so far early in this first quarter. Stolen away by here Holloway, and Holloway has it tipped away and taken out of bounds. It'll go back to the Jersey Blues from behind by Beckham.
And good transition defense that time by Beckham, denying the opportunity that Holloway had on the fast break.
Njai drives inside, throws it up there off the glass and in for Veronica Njai.
And oftentimes we see Njai too willing to settle for the outside jumper. You like that aggressiveness scoring from in close.
Cassandra Colon, what a move to the basket, and she lays it in. And the deficit once again for Philadelphia is 6. Taken away. Another turnover there for the Jersey Blues. Nice hands there by Harmon. And now Brookdale will settle into this defensive set here with a 2-3 zone. Slight difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Philadelphia can hold for the final shot if they choose to. Beckham traveled.
Yeah, that was an easy call there. Beckham just nowhere to go as she saw 3 white jerseys surrounding her, and now Brookdale can hold for 1.
So now the final play, most likely of the first quarter. Njai, the long 3, doesn't go, and that will end the first quarter. So 21-15, Brookdale leads over the CC of Philadelphia Colonials. We'll be back for the second quarter on BTV Live right after this.
This dog, and she's adorable, and I feel really happy right now, and it's a really great event for Anti-Stress Week.
I'm a second-year student at Brookdale Community College, and when I saw this on the student website, I thought, I love dogs. You know, it's very stressful this time of year since exams are coming up and everyone's trying to pressure to get the best grade they possibly can, and just seeing like these adorable animals, that it just brings the stress level way down, and it's something I'm glad to be a part of.
I've never been this happy in my entire life. I feel great, and I love dogs too, but I'm so sad that I'm allergic. But it's so good to see everyone happy because of them. So I can feel the good vibes, and I can feel the good aura that people are getting from these wonderful dogs.
There are so many events for students to take part in during Brookdale's Anti-Stress Week. You can receive free massages and meditation bowls at the SLC, as well as partake in a stress management workshop. Check out a free screening of The Secret Life of Pets, or join in a virtual gaming experience and oxygen bar. Last but not least,
And back here in the Robert J. Collins Arena, getting ready to start the second quarter. Brian Goudsworth, I'm Tim Catalfamo. Brookdale leads 21-15 in the doubleheader matchup this afternoon against the CC of Philadelphia Colonials. Men's game will take place at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll have that game live here on BTV. For now, we have a women's game to get decided first, as Camry Brown with some quick hands takes it away from Cologne. Brown to the floor, traveled.
Well, just unfortunate for Brown after the aggressive hands enabled her to get the steal, but then just couldn't quite get the handle, and then as she goes to the floor, the travel is called.
And as Brian and I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, CC of Philadelphia only here with 5 players active and ready to go. They had a couple of inactives. They also had 1 injury. And as a result, they only have 5 players on the floor as Camry Brown is going to pick up a quick personal right in front of Coach Brunson as she bumped into Cassandra Cologne. It's the second on Camry Brown. But they only have 5 players here suited up to go, and so far they have been able to hold their own as Beckham drains the 3. Nobody put a hand in her face, and it's now a deficit of 3.
Yeah, I've really been impressed by the way Philadelphia has come out, only down by 3 points. And remember, it was like 7-0 Brookdale to start this game, so they've really been able to claw their way back.
Coach McKinney wanted the traveling call, didn't get it. Poplawski inside. Now back out to Brown as the shot clock is down to 10. Rouse in the corner. Lines up for a 3. Front rim no good. Rebound to Beckham, rather. Up ahead to Harmon. Harmon keeps it from going out of bounds. Beckham now for the tie. Off the front rim, no good. And a timeout is taken by Coach Brunson as he is not happy with the way his team has started this second quarter. It'll be a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here. Coach McKinney, though, on the other side for Philadelphia, though, Brian, very happy, very excited that his team has started out not only this game, but this second quarter. They're within 3 of the Jersey Blues, and we just mentioned it a moment ago. This is a team that has only 5 players suited up to go. They've looked pretty strong so far.
Yeah, they have, and it's been led by Kiara Beckham. I mean, her performance shooting the basketball has kept her team in the game, but they have a lot of weapons. I mean, only 5 players, you think, well, they're going to have a tough time here, but the 5 players they put out on the floor is a really good starting lineup and good enough to be one of the better teams in this region. You have to keep in mind, they're on a 5-game winning streak. They're ranked 2nd to Brookdale, so this team is no slouch, and Brookdale is finding that out early on.
Battle of the 2 top teams in the Region 19 Conference this afternoon in women's basketball. And for Philadelphia, don't let that record of 7-2 scare you. They had 1 loss this season earlier on in the year that was to a JUCO team, and then they lost to Raritan Valley, which is kind of a wild card when you look at some of the teams that play other opponents in the Region 19 Conference. Raritan Valley, kind of one of those wild card teams. But with the exception of that, Philadelphia has handled themselves very well. And I will mention those 2 losses that Philadelphia had, they were without Kiara Beckham, arguably one of their best players on the floor. She did not play in either of those 2 losses. As out of the timeout, Danielle Griffith drains a 3, and Brookdale now back up to a 5-point lead.
And one of those losses came in overtime for the Colonials. So that just further demonstrates the point that they've played a lot of good basketball.
Full court press getting to the Philadelphia Colonials this time as it's taken away by the Jersey Blues. Njai finds Delonzo, who drives inside off the glass and in for Haley Delonzo. Nice move.
Yeah, and that quickness is just tough to stop. I mean, you have to be a really good defender to stay in front of Haley Delonzo. Otherwise, you're going to have trouble.
25-18. Beckham in the paint. The pull-up is good for Kiara Beckham.
Beckham's showing off the inside-outside skills as she made a 3 earlier in the quarter. That time, though, gets into the paint for the floater.
Njai tries to answer and is able to do so in the paint. A tough shot for Veronica Njai.
And one thing, too, that you like about how this game is played out to start is a nice flow to it. Why? Because there have been hardly any fouls called in either quarter.
A traveling violation is called against Stamps, and Coach McKinney not happy on the sidelines. There probably should have been a foul against Poplawski, who bumped into Stamps, but the officials let that one go. And you're right, Brian, we have only had, by my count, 3 fouls total in this first half.
Yeah, I think there have been more traveling calls. If anything, that's been what's slowed down the pace.
Miscommunication there as Poplawski throws it away. She was looking for Rachel Rouse, who was open on the arc. And Philadelphia has another opportunity here to cut the Brookdale lead. It's either 4 or 5 in this possession. McKinney Shot clock winding down here for Philadelphia, down the 5. Someone has to move, and turning it over there as she couldn't handle the pass from Cologne was Harmon.
Just not a good possession whatsoever that time by the Colonials. I mean, it just took forever to develop, and then when it did, they turned it over. So that's when they'd like to have back.
Another turnover here is Cologne able to take it away from Delonzo. Cassandra Cologne to the hole, lays it in. What a move.
Yeah, great move to get around Delonzo and finish it off.
Ball is tipped out of bounds. It'll stay here with Brookdale. Take a look at this again on the fast break. Cologne able to adjust in midair and lay it in. 25 on the shot clock for Brookdale. Njai inbounds to Delonzo. Njai now will drive inside. Back out to Haley Delonzo. Throws it up there. Count the basket as a blocking foul is called on Stamps. And Haley Delonzo, for the second time this afternoon, will try to complete the three-point play from the line.
Yeah, that was a tough finish there with the blocking foul, but the scoop layup with the offhand by Delonzo, just a nice move.
Foul, as I said, is on Stamps. I believe that is her first foul. I'm sorry, excuse me, the foul is on Deja McKinney, not Stamps. So that's the first foul on McKinney and the first on the Colonials in the second quarter. 30-22, Brookdale leads by 8. Jersey Blues have now gone to a man-to-man defense. They were in a 2-3 zone. Cologne along the baseline. Nice feed over to Stamps. Gets her own rebound and puts it in.
Nice job by Stamps following her initial miss and scoring on the second opportunity.
Philadelphia had to scramble to get back on defense. It's tipped out of bounds back to Brookdale, but nice hustle to get back because Anna Catanzaro was wide open underneath the basket. She couldn't quite handle the pass, and that was the distraction that Philadelphia needed to get back on defense. 24 to shoot. Brown with a nice drive. Left-hand layup doesn't go, and the rebound is taken by McKinney. Hey, Delonzo checked out of the game, by the way, for Anna Catanzaro. Danielle Griffith is also on the floor now for the Jersey Blues, as Cologne not able to make that three. Njai dumps it inside to Griffith, who is wide open, and she lays it in.
This nice vision that time by Njai, taking it all the way up the floor, seeing Griffith open underneath the basket, and the nice finish.
And now Coach McKinney will take a timeout as Brookdale has gone on a run. They have opened things up to an 8-point lead. It'll be a full timeout. We'll take a break and come back after this.
Welcome to the nursing pinning ceremony for the fall 2015 graduating class.
To be standing here right now, speaking to all of you, is such an honor and something I never thought would happen. Being diagnosed with cancer 2 days before my second to last semester started. But I thought like a nurse and went through the process, and now here I am, giving the welcoming speech at our pinning ceremony.
56 graduates of the Brookdale Nursing.
Back here in the Collins Arena. 5:08 remaining here in the second quarter. Tim Catalfamo alongside Brian Goudsworth, the rest of our BTV crew here for a doubleheader this afternoon as the Brookdale Jersey Blues are squaring off against the CC of Philadelphia Colonials. The women's game taking place now. The men's game later on this afternoon at 2 p.m. We'll have both those games live here on our channel. And right now, Philadelphia out of that timeout trying to cut back into this Jersey Blues lead. They were within 3 a moment ago as the shot clock is now starting to wind down. Stamps inside with the drive. She puts it up, no good. McKinney, though, is fouled inside after she got the rebound. So this will be the first foul shots for Philadelphia in the second quarter, and the foul will be charged to Anna Catanzaro. That'll be her first personal. as Deja McKinney, a transfer player that came in last year, not able to hit the first attempt from the line. And that was actually something that I was talking with head coach McKinney about. By the way, no relation from Deja McKinney to head coach Kenyatta McKinney. But I was talking to Coach McKinney pregame, and he told me their kryptonite, if you want to use the Superman term, has been foul shooting this season. They have struggled mightily from the line, as McKinney's not able to make either one from the charity stripe, but Brookdale turns it over there with Camry Brown.
Yeah, that's something that jumps off the page when you look at the team statistics. Under 50% for the season from the free throw line. So it's a team that is really based on their defense. They hold opposition to low scoring totals, but that's a good point that the coach makes, and that's something that drives coaches crazy when you can't convert from the line.
Beckham guarded by Njai. Dumps it into McKinney. McKinney may have shuffled her feet, and she did.
The other thing that both of these teams are very good at is taking the basketball away. So if we see a high turnover number, that would be why.
Brown throws it away. She was looking for Griffith. Yeah, on that note, Brookdale averages 14 steals a game, Brian. Philadelphia, one better than them, 15 a game. Yeah. So pretty good defenses on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, you got two Brookdale players that average about 4 steals in Brown and Delonzo, and Philadelphia equipped with many players who can take the ball away too. So these teams very strong on the defensive end.
One more note on that to further that point. In the last game that Brookdale played, they won against Camden County College 86-32. Camry Brown had 8 steals in that game.
Oh,
there's another one right on cue. Here she comes the other way, has it blocked away by Harmon, and now a jump ball is called. Possession arrow points Philadelphia's way.
How about that defensive play by Harmon, getting back in transition, blocking the layup attempt by Brown. She thought she was going to have an easy basket, and it was denied.
Philadelphia has not gone away. They are putting up a pretty good fight to arguably the best team in the Region 19 Conference. They are no slouch themselves, as Brian and I have talked about in this broadcast. They are right behind Brookdale, fighting for the top spot in the conference standings. McKinney is bumped inside right at the left elbow, and it'll be a foul on the floor. A non-shooting foul. They may get Camry Brown here again. We'll check, as Camry Brown will come out of the game for Haley Delonzo, and Brown now has picked up 3 personal fouls, Brian, so she's going to be on the bench probably for the remainder of this half.
Yeah, she's the lone Brookdale player who's in foul trouble, because as a team they've done a good job limiting the fouls. Brown, though, not so much, and now, as you say, that costs her time on the bench.
3 team fouls for Brookdale in the second quarter. Stamps his double team, drives inside on Griffith, can't get the layup to go, and Catanzaro is there for the rebound. Nice job by Cologne getting back on defense, disrupting that pass that was intended for Delonzo. So under 4 minutes to play here in the first half, Brookdale leads 32-24. Danielle Griffith drives inside, lays it in.
And Griffith has provided a nice spark here, being inserted in the starting lineup. As you take another look here, just gets the ball foul line area, aggressive move as you see it there, kind of in slow motion.
Little technical error there with our backboard camera, as another ball deflected out of bounds on the floor. It'll stay Philadelphia ball. Jessica Poplowski will come in for Danielle Griffith. So it's Poplowski, Njai, Catanzaro, Alexis Holloway, and Haley Delonzo on the floor for the Jersey Blues. Beckham, Cologne, Harmon, Stamps, and McKinney still the 5 players for Philadelphia. Beckham now with the basketball. Shot clock is down to 5 here. Beckham hoists up a straight on 3. It's too strong. And Njai grabs the rebound. Now here comes Veronica Njai the other way. In the paint, lays it in.
Yeah, that time Harmon trying to draw a foul there off, a blocking foul, but it didn't work out. And a nice move by Njai to elude her and score.
Philadelphia has to get across midcourt, and they do, to beat the 10-second violation. Beckham now Gives it off to McKinney. Finds inside to Cologne. Cologne, a tough shot off the glass, no good. Stamps had it in her hands, but lost it. Now here comes Brookdale. Delonzo couldn't handle as she dribbles it off her foot.
And if Delonzo had been able to pick that up and potentially get to the basket, it would have been because of the nice touch pass there by Holloway. Unfortunately for Brookdale, it didn't work out.
So it's a 12-point lead for the Jersey Blues. This is the first time they have led by double digits in this game. Remember, Philadelphia in the second quarter, not too long ago, was within 3 at the 8:35 mark. But since have seen Brookdale go on a run. Stamps spinning her way into the paint. Enjai another rebound. Delonzo. Fade away. Brookdale and Philadelphia going cold at the rim, as here's Beckham trying to break that streak. The 3 doesn't go. Cologne came flying in there for the rebound, but she couldn't corral it. And Alexis Holloway comes away in the backcourt. Less than 90 seconds now left here in the first half. Poplawski, the right elbow jumper, rattles in for Jessica Poplawski.
And that's Poplawski's spot. She likes taking passes right on that elbow area on each side of the free throw line and has a nice touch from about 10 feet away.
And now it's up to a 14-point lead for the Jersey Blues as we're under a minute left here in the first half. Beckham nearly lost it. Shot clock winding down. She did lose it. Back to Brookdale.
Yeah, a little too fancy dribble moves that time by Beckham, going between the legs, dribbling too low, and eventually loses it out of bounds.
Quick timeout, 30-second timeout taken by Coach Brunson as he wants to draw something up here with 49.6 seconds left here in the second. Brookdale leads by 14. Can't imagine what Coach Brunson will be drawing up here, Brian, but possibly just trying to get one final score to maybe squelch any momentum that Philadelphia could possibly have going into the locker room.
Right, and they had built up some momentum early on in this quarter, but since Brookdale's kind of taken command here, built the lead back up to 14, so they've really played a good quarter of basketball here, and it's always important to close out the half strong, and that's what they've been able to do.
So we'll see what the Jersey Blues draw up here out of that timeout. Coach Brunson using his last use it or lose it timeout in the first half. And he did just that. Holloway, Enjai, Poplawski, Catanzaro, and Delonzo on the floor for the Jersey Blues out of this timeout.
I don't think I've ever heard that before, use it or lose it.
Well, you have a certain amount of timeouts in the first half that if you don't use, you lose them, as Catanzaro lays it in. I'm surprised that you never heard that term before.
Never have.
I'll have to use it more often. McKinney double teamed. Now here's Stamps. It's short. Poplawski did a nice job boxing out, and the ball will go back to Brookdale out of bounds.
Oftentimes you see Brookdale in these situations, they don't like holding for a final shot attempt. I'm not quite sure what it is. They seem like they're in a rush and eventually take a 3 when they don't have to. Let's see if they eat as much clock here as possible.
Shot clock is turned off, as I mentioned. Inside, Catanzaro again forces it up there. No good, but she's fouled with 4.2 on the clock. They're going to get Stamps with her, I believe, first personal. It is her first personal. It's the second on the team as Catanzaro back iron no good on the first attempt from the line. Anna Catanzaro, the 6-foot freshman from Howell, New Jersey. It's been a nice addition to this team. Missed them both. Stamps won't even try. No, she will try a half-court heave. It's not even close, and that will end the first half with the lead for Brookdale, 40-24. Brian, some final first half thoughts before we get ready to wrap up.
Yeah, Brookdale, a good half of basketball. The Philadelphia, I was impressed, especially with the way they played early on, but since with only 5 players active, it's kind of easy to run out of gas. We'll see if they're able to muster something after this halftime break, but all in all, a good half for Brookdale, and Delonzo really leading the way once again.
Remember, Philadelphia only playing with 5 active players this afternoon. They're down to Brookdale, 40-24. We'll be back for the second half on BTV Live in a few moments.
like a lot of people.
Get ready to start the second half of basketball here on BTV. Brookdale leads 40-24. Let's head down now for the action. Haley DeLonzo able to hit a quick three to start the second half. 43-24. A little minor technical issue there. We're all right. Brookdale led by 16 at halftime. They now lead by 19. As the shot clock is now winding down here for Philadelphia. Inside, here's McKinney, who tries to force it up right at Poplawski. It'll go out of bounds with 2 to shoot. So we talked about, go ahead, Brian.
Philadelphia's going to have to hurry on this possession here. Only 2 seconds to shoot. We'll see what Brookdale dials up defensively.
McKinney will inbound. Fires in the Cologne. Straight on three at the buzzer is too strong. And Poplawski the rebound. DeLonzo tried to feed inside at Griffith. It's tipped away, but it'll stay here with the Jersey Blues. Some first half stats for you. Cassandra Cologne, 8 points to lead the Colonials. Beckham also has 8 points as well for Philadelphia. 2 threes. Haley DeLonzo, though, we mentioned her a second ago, she's got 13 to lead the Jersey Blues. And they have started off the second half very well. Looking to try to remain undefeated this season. And for Philadelphia, they're just trying to get on the board in the second half, and they do that with a nice corner shot from Ariana Harmon. Cuts the Brookdale lead to 16. Brown the feed inside to Griffith, who beat Deja McKinney along the low block, and she easily lays it in.
And that's been a nice connection today between Brown and Griffith, set up by the dribble penetration. And Griffith's done a nice job getting open down near the basket and finishing it.
Stamps right at Poplawski with a hand in her face, not able to hit the jumper. And now here comes Brown. She's fouled hard to the floor by Cologne.
Colonials foul number 2, Cassandra Cologne. That is her second.
So Camry Brown will head to the foul line for 2 shots. It's the second foul on Cologne. She is shooting 64% from the line this year, not able to hit the first attempt. Camry Brown had 5 points in the first half. Had a couple of steals. I mentioned the stat at the beginning of the first quarter. She had 8 steals in the last game that Brookdale played against Camden County. They won that game 86-32. As she gets 1 of the 2 from the line for Camry Brown. 46-27.
And Rich Brunson going back to this full court press, which he did a lot of early in the game, then backed off.
McKinney not able to hit the layup as she had Poplawski on her. A jump ball is called. And it will be a possession arrow pointing towards Philadelphia.
But as we know, the possession arrows sometimes can be misleading.
Coach McKinney wanted a foul there. Cologne inside. This time she is fouled. So Cassandra Cologne now will go to the foul line. It's the first foul on the Jersey Blues in the third quarter, and it is going to go against Haley DeLonzo. So it'll be a 2-shot foul for Cologne. First one, front rim, no good. Mentioned in the first half, this is a team in Philadelphia that struggles to shoot foul shots. They only, as a team, shoot 48% from the line. That is not a very good average. That's something Coach McKinney told me pre-game they've been desperately trying to work on. 1 of the 2 from the line this time for Cologne. Rouse the jumper doesn't fall. Now here comes Philadelphia the other way. The lead up ahead to Cologne again. She's able to take her time, and she puts it in off the glass.
Yeah, and so that's why, like, you look at this game, and usually you don't like to rack up the fouls, but in a game like this, you don't mind if Brookdale commits fouls because of the Colonials' struggles in that department.
Delonzo inside, got her own rebound. Now back out to Rachel Rouse, who hoists up a three. That's no good. And the rebound is taken by Beckham. Cologne lays it in. It is a 5-0 run for the Philadelphia Colonials, and nearly stolen away, and it is stolen away on the inbounds pass. And Philadelphia gets the timeout. That was Ariana Harmon going down to the floor. It's a 30-second timeout. Quick thinking by Coach McKinney to get that timeout, and Philadelphia will have it to try to further cut into the Brookdale lead. Wow.
And that was just a terrific play, getting the steal, and then in that position, had the presence of mind to call the timeouts. Just a terrific job, and the Colonials have come out with a lot of energy here in the third quarter. They're on a little bit of a burst here, trying to get back into this game.
So we'll see what Coach McKinney draws up out of this timeout. 46-32, Brookdale is in front. But as I mentioned a moment ago, a mini 5-0 run for the Colonials, who were down 40-24 at halftime. So far have outscored Brookdale in the second half. It'll be 27 to shoot on the shot clock for the Colonials. Deja McKinney will inbound. Brookdale looks like has gone back to a 2-3 zone. They started the first quarter, I should say, with that. Harmon a three, front rim no good, and the rebound to Delonzo. Njai kicks it out to Poplowski. The jumper, a little too strong. Now here comes Beckham going coast to coast, puts it up, doesn't get the layup to go, and Holloway tracks down the rebound. Njai, straight on three. Back iron, no good. Cologne, the rebound. And back and forth we go. Here comes Beckham, flipping it over to Harmon, and Harmon will wisely back it out and try to have the offense reset. Njai got a paw on that going out of bounds. But Coach McKinney high-fiving Ariana Harmon on the sidelines.
Going back to the last Brookdale possession quickly, Njai oftentimes shoots threes very early on in the shot clock, as she did there. You'd like to see Brookdale get into an offensive set, work the ball around, and not shoot so early on.
She averages 14 points a game, Veronica Njai does, but she is a freshman and she is trying to develop. She is now on the bench. In for her is Camry Brown. Bounce pass inside to McKinney, and McKinney is fouled by Poplowski. So Philadelphia taking it to the Jersey Blues to start the second half.
Number 30,
Jessica Poplowski will pick up her first personal. It's the second now in the Jersey Blues. And as I mentioned, Deja McKinney, who is close to averaging a double-double every game, not able to hit the first attempt from the line. And the foul line struggles for the Colonials continue as Poplowski will check out for Anna Catanzaro. The 5'8" sophomore from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Misses them both from the line. Brown, straight on three. Got it.
And there's certain times in a game where you just barely need a basket to kind of stop the bleeding. And that's a good time for Brookdale to end the drought with a Brown three ball.
Two-three zone defense once again for Brookdale. Stamps, kicks it out to Beckham. Beckham, the jumper, good. Almost rattled out there for Beckham, but she's able to get it to go in, and now it's a 49-34 lead for Brookdale. Griffith on the break lays it in.
Yeah, this has been Griffith's best game of the season. I mean, we haven't seen her be this active on the offensive end, but she's chipped in with some nice baskets, most of them coming right near the basket.
Well, she got the start to begin this game. She came in for Veronica Enjai, who normally starts in her place, as there she is right on cue, making another steal. Holloway now will slow it down. Brown, this time another three straight on. A heat check for Camarie Brown. That one doesn't go. Griffith, though, the rebound. Throws it back court. Cologne picks it up, but a whistle and a foul.
Hello?
On Alexis Holloway. And how about Philadelphia, Brian? I mean, we've talked about in this game only playing with 5 players. This is going on now more than 25 minutes of basketball, and we still have a full other quarter to go. No substitutions. And even though they are down by double digits, they're hanging around as Cologne inside muscles it up and in.
Yeah, and at one point it looked like they might be starting to run out of gas there late stages in the first half, but they came out, the break did them well at halftime because they've come out with a good sense of energy. Still a long way to go, but they played a strong game.
Holloway is bumped down to the floor by Stamps, and that will be a foul on Shakira Stamps. Danielle Griffith will check out for her sister, Dion Griffith. Mentioned how well she has played in this game. So it's Dion Griffith, Alexis Holloway, Cananzaro, Delonzo, and Brown on the floor. Delonzo rims out on the three from the corner, and the rebound is ripped down by McKinney. Approaching 4 minutes left here in the third. Cologne makes a nice move along the baseline, is fouled in the paint. And we'll see if this is in the act of shooting or on the floor. Cologne thinks it's a foul on the floor.
I thought it was going to be not in the act of shooting. Nobody knew what was going on there, but looks like it's free throws, which I'm a little puzzled by.
Foul is on Anna Cananzaro. That is her second personal. So at the line again, Cologne not able to hit the first attempt. And this is just continuing to add to a story that we've been talking about. Free throws have been an issue for Philadelphia. One of the fundamental things in basketball, and Coach McKinney told me several times during my pregame chat with him that this is just something they have just struggled mightily with this season. Missed them both again. Delonzo was out of control, but she was bumped from behind. It'll be a foul on CC of Philadelphia. It'll be Ariana Harmon picking up the personal. That'll be her first. And more substitutions here. Veronica Enjai will check in for Alexis Holloway. It's the third foul on Philadelphia. Brookdale has got 4 team fouls.
Yeah, this is more fouls already than we saw, I think, combined in the first half.
I think you're right. Tipped away out of bounds. It'll stay here with Brookdale. You know, Coach McKinney told me pre-game, along with the free throw issues, that they're going to have to limit the amount of mistakes that they have because Brookdale can capitalize on those mistakes. And while they haven't necessarily had too many mistakes in this game, Brookdale's a very good team. They have just kind of hurt themselves from the foul line as they just haven't been able to capitalize on those opportunities given to them.
Yeah, the foul line issues have been well documented, as we discussed, under 50% as a team, and I think both teams have been aggressive defensively, taking the ball away, staying true to their form this season. Both of them love to steal the ball. As Delonzo knew she couldn't pick it up, and she was trying to signal there for a teammate to pick it up. Otherwise, it was a double dribble, which it turned out to be.
Some uncharacteristic mistake there by Haley Delonzo, as Veronica Enjai now will check out of the game very quickly. In for her, Rachel Rouse. And Rachel Rouse has been very quiet. Speaking of her the last couple of games, she's a player that averages 16 a game, but we really haven't talked about her too much. As Stamps down low right at Cananzaro, and Cananzaro, nice defense, able to take away with the rebound. Stamps gets it back, and the shot clock resets now for Philadelphia. McKinney on the drive, puts it up and in. 51-38. Philadelphia not going away without a fight.
And I think their head coach wants them to put more press on in the backcourt, but not enough there.
Delonzo open, not a great shot, but Cananzaro is there for the rebound and puts it in. Delonzo's feet weren't really set, but Anna Cananzaro is able to clean it up underneath the basket. 53-38 now. Brookdale leads, approaching 2 minutes left here in the third. And now you begin to wonder, Brian, if Philadelphia is starting to get fatigued, as that long three from the corner by Harmon is way off the mark.
Yeah, that shot would make it seem that they might be a little bit fatigued.
Brown inside, the layup is good.
Brown, though, not fatigued as she takes it aggressively to the basket.
4 unanswered points now in the last 30 seconds for Brookdale. See if the Colonials can answer here. Inside, Stamps. I'm sorry, that's Harmon. Not able to get the bucket. Nobody back on defense here for Philadelphia. Delonzo bounce pass to Rouse. She's fouled. Count the basket.
No, that wasn't the most well-executed 3-on-1 break you've ever seen, but it did the job it was intended to, as Rouse a chance for a 3-point play.
So Rachel Rouse, the 5'6" sophomore from Neptune, New Jersey, will try to complete the 3-point play. The foul is on Cassandra Colon. That is her third personal, and she completes it. It's a 20-point lead now for Brookdale, their largest lead of the game. McKinney to Colon. They are able to manage the backcourt press. Harmon off the glass and in. And a timeout taken by Coach Brunson. He has 2 more remaining. And I just think he's maybe a little bit perplexed on his backcourt defense. It's a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here on Brookdale TV. But he'll want to talk things over with his players. Remind you, coming up at the end of this game, approximately at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, Brian and I will be back for the men's basketball game, as the men will be taking on CC of Philadelphia. The Colonials on that side, along with the Jersey Blues, come in with identical records, 6-5. Brookdale has won 2 straight, whereas Philadelphia dropped their last game, but are a much improved team over last year, and they're gearing up for a fight. Every time Brookdale and Philadelphia play, they always seem to have pretty close games on the men's side of things. So it'll be an interesting matchup between 2 teams that are trying to find some identity in the Region 19 Conference coming up at 2 o'clock. Cananzaro tried to tip it to herself. It's taken away by Colon. Colon, the bounce pass to Harmon. Harmon not able to get the layup. And a jump ball is called. Some pushing and shoving there. Possibly a little bit of frustration from the Colonials and Camry Brown. It's a jump ball. It remains... Actually, no, they're going to call a foul. Initially, they had called a jump ball, but now the officials say that it's going to be a foul on Cassandra Colon. And that's her 4th, Brian. So they have no room for error when it comes to players getting in foul trouble.
Yeah, and we saw this happen either last year or the year before, where a team had only 5 available players. One of them fouled out, and they were forced to play the rest of the game with 4 players. It was basically a power play for Brookdale.
So Camry Brown at the foul line. The 5'6" sophomore from Long Branch, New Jersey, makes them both. Brown almost got another steal out of the inbounds play. It'll stay here with Philadelphia. Coach Brunson directing traffic on the sidelines. Continuing to go with this full court press. He is not letting up on that, I think, because he knows, even though Philadelphia is a little bit fatigued, they can put some points on the board as Delonzo kicks it out of bounds. But they can put some points on the board, Brian, and I don't think Brunson wants to take any chances here despite having a 20-point lead.
Yeah, and that full court press has been effective, especially early on in the game. Then they kind of laid off of it in the second quarter, but it's been back in full force here in the third, and it's created some turnover problems for the Colonials.
It definitely has been a staple of Coach Brunson's coaching methods. Over his 3 seasons here at Brookdale is another turnover there by the Colonials. Here's DeLonzo with the jumper. It's short. Brown the rebound, had it stripped from behind by Harmon. Up ahead to Cologne. And Cologne will wait for the other 4 players. Oh, backcourt violation, just not a smart play. And Coach McKinney just shakes his head on the sidelines.
Just not a smart play, as you put it. I mean, you can't really say anything more. Just like Cologne didn't know what she wanted to do with the ball once she took that long pass and instead throws it over the midcourt line for a turnover.
And I think that fatigue is starting to get to the Colonials. There was nobody back on the other end of the floor, Brian, on that last possession as Catanzaro this time lays it in for 2. Nobody back on the opposite end of the floor to help out Cologne, and she was waiting for her teammates to come down the floor and just made a mistake. Shot clock is turned off. 3 seconds left here in the quarter. 2-1. Stamps hoists up a 3 at the buzzer. It's no good. And that will end the third quarter with the score 62-40. We'll take a break and come back for the 4th and final quarter here on BTV after this.
Hi, I'm Lauren Watson here at the Brookdale Athletics 2016 Hall of Fame.
We're here tonight to recognize the inductees into the Brookdale Athletic Hall of Fame. The Brookdale Community College Alumni Association is proud to sponsor the dinner tonight, along with the athletic department and also with the Brookdale Community College Foundation. It's great to have all these Brookdale alum back together to celebrate each other and to celebrate their achievements while they were here at Brookdale.
Oh, I think it's a great honor for anybody to be inducted to any Hall of Fame. I mentioned Dennis McCaffrey, young guy like him, and he's already been inducted into tonight will be his 4th Hall of Fame that he's been inducted. And he's a very successful coach and a successful administrator up in Cranford.
I want to just thank Brookdale, to all the other inductees, the 1986 team for showing us how to do it. Current athletic director, just feeling his passion, his love and concern for Brookdale. I want to say thank you, Brookdale. To all the employees, keep doing what you're doing, because you got some kid that didn't really have a path. You got some kid that really didn't know what he was going to do, be able to go to Villanova and have a great life now, and it's because of Brookdale, and I say thank you very much.
It's an honor for me to be able to share this evening with all of the amazing inductees that are here, but especially with Bo. So, while I am proud of my accomplishments in my years playing softball here at Brookdale, the greatest of them all, for sure, is the honor of being inducted tonight next to you.
You know how they say to have a nation, a village.
And we're back here in the Robert J. Collins Arena, Tim Califano alongside Brian Gounsworth. The 4th and final quarter as we get ready to start the conclusion to the women's basketball game this afternoon between the Brookdale Jersey Blues and the Philadelphia Colonials. CC of Philadelphia trailed by 16 at halftime. They find themselves down by 22 as Stamps now inside makes it a 20-point deficit for the Colonials. Doubleheader coming at you this afternoon. We have the women's game, and then at 2 p.m., the men take the floor. Catanzaro traveled with the basketball before she was able to lay it in.
Well, prior to that, it looked like a textbook way to defeat a full-court press. The ball never touched the floor. Good movement, and Catanzaro, unfortunately, just shuffled the feet.
So we'll see if Philadelphia has one more run in them. They are pretty much gassed. We talked about they only have 5 players here. It's a long 3 there by Jakira Stamps, and she drains it. And I checked that was Harmon, actually, with the 3. 62-45. Catanzaro is able to answer at the other end with a nice 2.
And if Philadelphia is going to mount a comeback here, I think it has to start with forcing turnovers, because that's something they do very well. Brookdale can become prone to turning the ball over, and if Philly has any hopes in getting back into the game, that has to be the formula.
Harmon again, another 3. This one's way too strong off the back iron, and the rebound controlled by Catanzaro. Harmon, though, makes a play in the backcourt. Up to McKinney. McKinney right at Catanzaro, draws contact, and will go to the line.
Fouls on Brookdale team Champ.
So as I was talking about a moment ago, we'll see whether or not Philadelphia has one more run in them. We talked about how they only have 5 players suited up this afternoon. Fatigue has been an issue, and you can kind of see, especially in the second half, how that has sort of become a recurring theme as McKinney makes a shot from the foul line. But we know that Coach Brunson is going to continue to play strong on defense and continue this full court press that they have been on because he knows how good Philadelphia is despite having 5 players here.
Yeah, and that formula has worked out well for Brookdale. They've been able to force their fair share of turnovers and turn it into Brookdale points on their offensive end.
Stamps went inside. There was some contact. They're going to call a traveling. Coach McKinney wanted a foul, and I have to kind of agree with him. There was some contact between Stamps and Poplawski, and I think Poplawski may have gotten away with a personal. Haley DeLonzo comes out of the game along with Anna Catanzaro. Veronica Enjai and Rachel Rouse now on the floor for the Jersey Blues.
A rare break for DeLonzo, who's played almost the whole game.
And now some trouble in the backcourt. 10-second violation on the Jersey Blues. Coach McKinney thought it was a foul on his team and had to grab Bobby Mew-Piro, one of the officials, to just make sure that it wasn't a foul charge to his team as he was jumping up and down after a nice defensive hold by his Colonials. Down by 18, though, they're going to need some offense. Beckham. Now to Cologne, who's got 4 personal fouls. Harmon in the corner for 3. No. Beckham, the weak side rebound, forces it up. No good. Another rebound by McKinney. She puts it up. No. Stamps this time will try her luck. Has it blocked. Puts it up again and still not able to get the bucket.
Well, we've now seen each team have, 4 or 5 chances, and both times it's resulted in no points.
Holloway for 3. Rims out. Brookdale has to get back on defense here. Cologne lays it in. Adjusting in midair. Coach McKinney fired up on the sidelines.
It's all well and good to be fired up, but his team still has a long way to go, down by 16.
Trying to spark his team. Veronica Enjai doesn't hit on the 3, and now Stamps will bring the ball up.
He certainly is bringing the energy.
Harmon to Cologne. Left wing 3. No, and Holloway this time the rebound. Philadelphia not giving up. Another turnover. Up ahead to nobody. And this time Holloway will just scoop it up. And that's where maybe fatigue, Brian, is starting to come into play. Rouse, left arc 3. Cologne almost traveled. Now here's Beckham, who waits for the rest of her team to get up.
This time no backcourt violation.
Beckham, the right elbow jumper doesn't go, and out of bounds, last touched by the Jersey Blues. And after that quick breather on the bench, Haley DeLonzo and Camry Brown will come back in for Veronica Enjai and Rachel Rouse.
DeLonzo never gets too long of a rest, does she?
One of their star players. And I think Coach Brunson maybe senses a little bit of a comeback here. So he's going to put DeLonzo back on the floor. Brown, another steal right on cue. Missed the layup. And now a foul here in the backcourt on Beckham as she was trying to get it out of Alexis Holloway. So Holloway will now go to the line for 2 shots for Kiara Beckham. That's only her 2nd personal. It's the first on Philadelphia in the 4th quarter. And now here is Alexis Holloway, front rim on the first attempt, the 5'4" freshman from Bayville, New Jersey. Camry Brown now will check back out of the game. Danielle Griffith now comes in for her. So Coach Brunson continuing to change up the lineup as one of the 2 from the line for Holloway. It's a 65-48 lead. Cologne. Now into the corner for Stamps. Not really her area. Now drives inside the paint. Off the glass, no good. McKinney, though, is fouled inside.
Again, offensive rebounding for the Colonials. We saw just a couple of possessions ago them get about 4 or 5 of them. Didn't turn it into points, but Brookdale has not done a good enough job boxing out here early on in this fourth quarter, and it's created multiple opportunities for Philadelphia.
So Deja McKinney now at the foul line. First one is good. The foul was on Danielle Griffith. That's her first personal. Second team foul in Jersey Blues in the fourth.
And this is the part of the game where you really need to make your free throws, especially a team that struggles.
1 out of 2 from the line.
Wow.
Delonzo, bounce pass to Griffith, in stride, she lays it in. Cologne, right at Poplawski, some contact, no call, out of bounds, last touch by Philadelphia. Coach McKinney not happy with that call. Thought that it went off of Poplawski last. I tell you what, though, Philadelphia has not given up, Brian. They are continuing the fight in this game, which we've talked about many times, but it's a storyline because there's only 5 players on the floor. Poplawski inside, Holloway this time with the layup.
That time Holloway, right place at the right time, able to collect it and go up for 2.
And a timeout is going to be taken by Coach McKinney, probably just to give his team a breather. Down by 20. 69-49 with 5:18 left here in the fourth. It'll be a 30-second timeout. So we remind you that coming up at the end of this game, as we mentioned a couple times, at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, approximately, the men will take the floor. And that should be a very interesting matchup, Brian, because you talk about how both of these two teams on the men's side, 6-5, identical records, come off similar seasons in a sense. However, Philadelphia has had some embarrassing losses on their side. On the men's side, Brookdale's had a lot of close losses, but whenever they play each other, regardless of which rosters that they have or whatever their records are, there always seem to be a pretty good game. So we'll be looking forward to that at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, to that point, and last year we know Brookdale was undefeated, of course, the 34-0 record, winning a national championship. But the one meeting they did have with Philadelphia, it was a 7-point decision. So the Colonials played them tough, and as you mentioned, typically when those two teams meet, they are close games.
Both of these games this afternoon are makeups for the canceled game that took place in mid-November. There was a rare November snowstorm that blanketed the East Coast and, of course, shut down a lot of travel in New Jersey. So this is the makeup game for that here in December. And we'll see them at 2 o'clock take the floor. So out of that timeout, we'll see what Philadelphia can do. Again, facing a pretty large deficit of 20. But they are not going away. They are going to continue to fight down to the final buzzer. McKinney, it's a kickball on Holloway, so it'll stay here with Philadelphia with 15 to shoot. Coach McKinney told me pregame it's all about mental toughness, and this is possibly one of the games that Philadelphia maybe can learn from as far as mental toughness is concerned, only playing with 5 players. Really a test of not only physical but mental stamina. Harmon able to pick up the loose change. Now here's Beckham. Finds Stamps in stride. Too strong on the layup. McKinney inside. Throws it up there. No foul. Beckham, the rebound. Back to Stamps. No.
My goodness. Point blank range and just not able to finish.
Philadelphia not getting off of their feet inside. Delonzo on the floor, traveled.
The last few possessions by both sides have not exactly been the prettiest basketball.
You know, all the energy has kind of come out of this game. Remember in the first half, this game was close. It was close in the first half. Philadelphia was trading blows back and forth with Brookdale. At one point, only down by 3.
Yeah, both teams were playing with a crispness to their offense, and that has kind of faded here lately.
Stamps. A 3 is good. Jakira Stamps. Able to get on the board from behind the arc. Poplawski now to Holloway. Holloway, nobody picked her up, and she drives inside with the layup. Wants this again. Nobody comes over. Not very good defense in the paint that time for the Colonials. McKinney now back to Cologne. Miscommunication there, I think, on offense. Here's Stamps, who just hit that 3. Foul here. It'll be on Brookdale. That'll be Anna Catanzaro. The fourth foul on Catanzaro. She stays in the game. Offensive foul on Cologne. And that might be it for her, as I think now she's got 5 personal fouls.
Well, if that's the case, it's a Brookdale power play here, as you see Cologne taking her exit, heading for the bench, getting high-fived, but now her team in the rare position of playing with just 4 on the court.
Well, we knew that Cologne was going to be in some trouble as far as fouls are concerned. She was on the floor for a long time with 4 personal fouls and just finally picked up her 5th. But very valiant effort this afternoon by Cassandra Cologne. You have to give her credit. It won't be a winning effort this afternoon, but certainly a lot of fight from Philadelphia.
We saw this once before, am I right, with 4 players?
I believe we did last year. And remember, the rule is you can continue to play, as Poplawski will pick up a foul inside as she slammed into McKinney. I believe the rule is you can play till however many players that you want. I mean, obviously, you continue to play until the opposing coach that has the shortage of players either forfeits the game or says that's enough, we're done. But you can play with 4 players as Harmon runs into Poplawski and lost it.
It's basically 5 on 3.
Gonna go back to Philadelphia, and now Coach Brunson will make a wholesale change here. There's a bunch of different players coming out. So Danielle Griffith, Haley DeLonzo, Anna Catanzaro, and Jessica Poplawski get a round of applause here from the Collins Arena. Veronica Enjai, Rachel Rouse, Camry Brown, and Dion Griffith check in. Under 3 minutes to play. Beckham, the straight on 3 is good. Kiara Beckham. Brown, double dribble. And you have to wonder, Brian, what this game would be like if Philadelphia did have some subs into the game. That, I think, would really be a storyline that would be interesting as it rolls out of play here. It'll stay here with Philadelphia. We talked about how they have an injury. They had Andrea Boleg, probably their best rebounder, who was inactive. A couple of other players that were inactive this evening, or this afternoon, I should say. And you have to wonder what this game would have been like if they had some subs.
Yeah, Boleg, as you mentioned, their leading rebounder. She averages over 12 rebounds a game, and especially good on the offensive glass. So that's a big loss to not have her. But this team at full strength, I think, can compete with any of the other teams in the Region 19. They played Brookdale, all things considered, pretty close. I mean, I know it's a 16-point game, but they played well. And if they had their full complement of players, you'd have to expect they're going to be very competitive.
Well, I mean, you just look at what they're doing right now. They're playing with 4 players. They have no subs, and they're still only down by 14.
Yeah, they've cut the deficit.
They've actually cut the deficit, yeah.
Malone fouled out.
Coach McKinney told me pregame This is the first team all around that he has been able to recruit. Last year, they had just some players that came on the roster that he was not able to physically get and recruit. This year, he's actually been able to go out and recruit players, many of them from the surrounding Philadelphia area, and he feels very good about this team. So I know this is not obviously going to be a win, and for Coach Brunson, they are going to remain undefeated at 12-0, but the pieces are being put together at Philadelphia after a tough couple of seasons. Inbound to Dion Griffith, not able to get the layup. Got her on rebound and now gets it back out to Rouse for a three. And Harmon, a nice steal there. Philadelphia not going away.
I was just going to say, they're still playing and playing hard.
Beckham dribbled it off her foot. It's a 5-on-3 opportunity here for Brookdale. Njai goes right over Harmon, offensive foul there. Pretty easy call for the officials to make. And now Haley DeLonzo will come off the bench. I thought she was done. Now she's going to come in for Veronica Njai.
I think Rich Brunson just wants to make sure it doesn't get any closer than this.
Beckham. A three is good. That's the second time that we've seen her come down the floor and just put up a three. And now we're under a minute left to go, Brian, but this is an 11-point game. I obviously know Brookdale has kind of backed off, so that might be one of the reasons why Philadelphia's been able to get some points here, but still, you have to credit the Colonials for the fight that they have put on. All of these players that are on the floor have been playing a full 40 minutes as Brookdale will generously just let the shot clock go down to 0 and give the ball back to Philadelphia. A very nice, courteous move made by Coach Brunson. Final 20 seconds of play. See if Beckham can take another three. She does. Oh, this one does not able to go in. And that looks like that will do it. So Brookdale will remain undefeated. They take down Philadelphia this afternoon, 71-60. And a valiant effort by the Colonials, putting on, really, Brian, a heck of a fight and not giving up all the way down to the end. We talked about Cassandra Colon fouling out of the game. Very impressive play by Kiara Beckham. And really, those 5 players for Philadelphia continued to fight, even when at this point, obviously, when they had 4 players on the floor, it looked like the win was out of range, but they cut that deficit down, actually, and they only lose by 11. I know that Brookdale wasn't really pushing it 100% there in those last couple of minutes, but the seeds have definitely been planted for CC of Philadelphia, and Coach has got to feel very good about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of stunning when you lose one of the players you have and end up eating into the deficit as Philadelphia was able to do. So that was an impressive effort by them. But on the Brookdale side, one player I think we should talk about is Dion Griffith, the job that she did in the starting lineup, especially in the first half, chipping in offensively and defensively, and I think she was a big reason for getting Brookdale this win.
Danielle Griffith came in and started in place of Veronica Njai in the starting 5, and now, Brian, you look at this, they're 12-0. Where do they go from here? Because Philadelphia, we talked about at the beginning of the game, they were up near the top of the Region 19 standings. This, for Coach Brunson, has got to make him feel pretty good.
Yeah, this was a game where, as we said, they were going to be tested, and they showed they were up for the challenge. A lot of the games Brookdale had played earlier on against sort of the bottom of the barrel competition, but they can play like this against one of the better teams. There's really not many teams that can beat them, so Brookdale's in good shape.
They remain undefeated. They are 12-0. They take down CC of Philadelphia today, 71-60. So the men's team will be warming up and practicing. They'll have that game taking place here in the Collins Arena at 2 p.m. Brian and I will be back for that. Until then, stay tuned for more programming here on BTV.